What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Real Talk Real Estate. I'm your host, Mark Cannon, local realtor here in the Phoenix area with my home group real estate and owner of the Benchmark Real Estate team. So today I'm going to be going over our monthly update for March on what's going on in the market and everything like that. So we're going to talk about inflation. We're going to talk about interest rates. We're going to talk about inventory. We're going to talk about all those things. Because for me, I think it's good for you to understand where those things are. And I'm also going to talk about just some of the narratives I'm hearing out there and maybe how we need to come back to reality and not just be on social media, because social media can be a struggle. But appreciate everyone that's listening, liking videos, subscribing, all that stuff. Appreciate it. And here to be a resource for you guys. It's the only reason I do this. So let's talk about inventory. So that's where we normally start. How many homes are on the market? So last month when we were going over this, we were in just below 24,000. So we were like 23,000, I believe it was like 200. Now we're at 24,700. Active homes on the market. That's not including coming soon. We're over 25,000 with coming soon. But what does that say? Inventory is rising. Now, I am hearing all kinds of things online from other people. Like I literally had somebody 2 days ago come to me in here. Hey, I hear the market might be crashing. I'm like, no, that's not what's happening right now. and again, you have to understand with context. When you look at social media and people are talking about, oh, inventory is rising, prices are being cut, all this stuff. Prices being cut doesn't mean that homes are losing value. Now, I think that we are starting to see that finally here some, but it's not like it's drastic. We're seeing a lot of people that overprice their homes, overvalue their homes, and then they have to cut the prices. Like I have that conversation with all my listings right now of, hey, here's the comp. We need to be under that. We don't want to be putting it over because we'll be sitting. We don't want that. And it depends on the type of home you're selling. Again, everybody's situation is different, whether you're buying or selling. So it's one of those that there's different strategies. And this market, it's a buyer's market. In most of Phoenix, it's a buyer's market. So I'm going to show the Cromford report right here, and you can kind of see what that looks like. Most of Phoenix is going down, and we're in a buyer's market. I know some of these numbers will show a balanced market. Remember, 90 to 110 is a balanced market. Anything above seller, below 90 is a buyer's. But most markets we're in right now are balanced or buyer's markets. So it's one of those that for us, and I think when you have to realize when you're seeing stuff on the news, when you're seeing stuff in social media, realize that real estate, again, is local. It's not national. I say this all the time because they're going to use national numbers or look at Florida, stuff like that. There's so many different people that are trying to get clicks and freak people out. I'm not trying to do that, but I will be real. So like, for instance, Phoenix, Tucson, you look at places in Florida, places in Texas, they're getting hit fairly large right now. And why is that? And so when you actually have to break down and look at why, it's because you look at those areas I just mentioned, those are the ones that grew the most during COVID. So people leaving California, Washington State, New York, wherever, went to a lot of these states and they grew exponentially. And places that grow the most tend to also slide the most. So again, now am I saying that we're going to get a 20% correction? No, I'm not saying that. But it's one of those that our prices were high for a long time. And I had friends back in 23, 24, their prices had come down. And now I'm talking to I was just talking to some realtors in, it was Indiana, Virginia, and New Jersey. And all their markets are doing really well. The guy in New Jersey was telling me they have multiple offers on houses. And Virginia had seen some of that too. And their markets are very healthy. Whereas, and all of them, a year to 2 years ago, they had a downward, the downward trajectory in their market where prices came down a little bit. They slowed down and now they're picking back up. Whereas Phoenix, places in Texas, places in Florida never went down. We just stayed. So now it's our time to go down. Every market is different, right? So with that being said, does that mean the world is coming to an end? No, you also have to understand the localities. So Phoenix is one of those that we are very seasonal, right? Not as many people buy in the summer and sell in the summer. So what's our biggest season? Spring, February, March, April, May. That is when people start selling their homes. So because of that, yes, we are gaining inventory right now. It's outpacing demand. It is. It's outpacing demand, and we're seeing more listings, and that is to be expected. As far as the listing side, the demand side, it's because of interest rates and where prices are that it's high. And I get it. Everybody wants to believe, prices are going to come back down. They're going to get cut 40%. Okay, sure. You can believe that if you want. But it's one of those that I firmly believe if you can buy, buy. If it's within your means. Again, I'm not saying to go house broke. I'm not saying to do those things. I have the rule of thumb, 35% of your income should be house. You shouldn't go over that. Save up money. That's what you should be doing. So, trying to get off my soapbox. But all of that to say, with inventory is going to be rising until demand rises. And they've been saying once we get to around 5.8% interest rates, that's when we might see more activity for buyers. So, right now, we'll talk about interest rates real quick. So interest rates right now, you look at conventional loans around 6.8%. So we've been coming down, and I think we're going to continue to come down. And there's some factors that, and I'll talk about that in a second. But we're sitting around 6.8. I think for the rest of the year, you're going to see it come down. I think you're going to see a buyer's balance market through the summer. This is just what I think is going to happen. You're going to see a buyer's market, balance market in certain markets in the summer, all the way through the summer. And then the fall, you're going to see it start balancing out because interest rates are going to continue to come down, I think. And then I wouldn't be shocked if we're in the low sixes by the end of the year. And that means FHA VA will be in the mid fives because right now, FHA VA, we're sitting around 6.25%. So if you keep coming down, that means FHA VA is going to keep coming down as well. So that's going to make it more affordable. Now, again, is it going to be crazy good affordability? No, I'm not saying that, but it will make it more affordable for a lot of people because there's still a lot of pent-up demand, people waiting to buy that want to buy. So the biggest thing that we're also looking at now is, obviously, I know everybody talks about the Fed and all this stuff. The Fed doesn't control interest rates. Go watch my other videos on this. It's the 10-year Treasury. When you do some of the research on what the 10-year Treasury is doing, what the Fed's doing with the 10-year Treasury, you're going to see that interest rates are going to slowly come down for the year. They're not going to drop drastically. And if they do, great. If they don't, okay, we're going to expect them to come down gradually. But what we are going to look at is you're going to see inflation is now starting to come down. So January, it was 3%. Now we're down to 2.8. And if that trajectory continues, you're going to see the optimism in the market. You're going to see a lot of businesses come back in. There's going to be a lot more spending optimism. Obviously with some of the things that are going on in the government right now, cutting a lot of waste and different things like that, that's also creating, okay, the government's not spending as much. So it's creating optimism. So to me, I would think that the second part of this year is going to be a better market. As far as I think it'll go back to being more of a balanced market and it'll be better. But right now it's a buyer's market. So if you can buy, now's the time to start looking into that, and having that conversation. So if you are thinking about that, let me have a conversation with you. I'd love to talk with you. If you're thinking about buying or if you're thinking about selling, there's different strategies when you're selling right now that you need to talk through. You want to make sure you have somebody that understands the different markets and the different things that are happening in the market, because you don't want to just be chasing the market when you're listing your home. And if you're buying a home, you want to know how you can negotiate and get the best buck for your money. So I would love to have that conversation with you. My information's below. If you have questions on any of this stuff, I'd love to connect with you and just talk with you because it's real estate through relationships for me. I'm worried about the long-term relationship. I'm not worried about a transaction. I'm here to do what's best for my clients. So guys, you've been listening to Real Talk Real Estate. I'll catch you next time.